Hi, everybody. My name is Mrs. McNaughton, and this is the English Language Arts Grade 10 session. I'm here to give you an overview of what we plan to do this year in English 10, and hopefully you will get all your questions answered through this. There will be the email addresses of the 3 teachers who are teaching this course at the end of the presentation. So if you have further questions, please let me know. There are 3 of us teaching English 10 this year, Mr. Coleman, Ms. Frankie, and myself. You will either have the class first or second quarter, and then again for third and fourth quarter. And I have a little diagram here that shows you what that could look like. You could have the class first quarter and then third or fourth, and then you will have the class second quarter if you did it in first quarter, and then again, third or fourth quarter. Just like normal years, there could be a little shift in who you're in the class with as people's schedules change to accommodate things like their electives. This year is really about preparing you to take those IB English classes that are coming up. We'll be exploring a variety of texts. You can see them here on the screen: novel, poetry, memoir, play, essays, non-literary texts. And this is to get you ready to analyze and work with texts in your IB English classes you will be taking junior and senior year. Because we're preparing for IB, we really work with connecting to our global areas. And you'll see them here listed below, but these are kind of the big picture ideas that will be happening during our looking at the different texts. And you'll see that it has a little piece down the bottom. Any thematic concern that deals with human nature, human society, how we live our lives, all of that will be what we're kind of addressing as we look at individual texts and we connect them back to ourselves, to the community at large, and to these big picture ideas. We will also be looking at areas of exploration regarding readers, writers, and the text and how they work with them, the ideas of time and space, and the ideas of intertextuality, connecting texts to each other. So if we look at, for example, a poem and a memoir that deal with the same global area, we'll be asking you to make some connections between the 2 different texts and back up your analysis with what you're seeing in them, both verbally and in writing. We really want you to have the skills for literary analysis pretty solidly built by the time we're done with 10th grade. We will be writing about what we read. You'll be learning about how to create a thesis and finding evidence to support it. And for many of you, you've already done that in 9th grade and previous years, but this will be really how to craft that essay and make it wonderful. We'll also be solidly working on how to compare 2 or more literary texts as we are working with different texts in class. You'll be expected to keep an interactive journal or notebook, and your teacher is going to give you ways to do this. We'll be referring back to it during the second half of the class. So if you're in class this first quarter, you need to make sure you keep a hold of whatever that is by the time you get to your third or fourth quarter. This notebook could be virtual, and we're going to show you how to set that up in Google Drive for this purpose, or it could be tangible. If you're doing a tangible notebook like a composition notebook or using a spiral, please make sure you keep track of it, and you will be asked occasionally to take pictures of the pages to turn in when requested. The Chromebooks have cameras on them, and that's one way to turn in the pages, or if you need help figuring out another way, you can talk with your teacher and we can work that out with you. As far as your grades are concerned, 30% of your grade will be based on formative assignments. These are things like the daily work that's in our interactive notebook, participation in classroom discussion. It could be other small work tasks. 70% of your grade is going to be based on summative assignments. These are projects and longer pieces of writing. With them, you should get time to really get some feedback on what you're doing, possibly do multiple drafts of the writing if you're not satisfied with your score, and then be able to turn them in and know what it is you need to do. Your teacher will let you know if something is to be scored as a summative assignment, because as you can see, with it being weighted towards 70%, that is a big part of your grade. The grading scale is pretty much the typical grading scale, where 90% or 100% of the points scored would earn you an A, 80 to 89% will earn you a B, 70 to 79% a C, 60 to 69% a D, and if you earn 0 to 59%, you would get an F. Generally, teachers are going to use their discretion on whether they're going to give you an incomplete rather than an F, and there will be some decisions made about that toward the middle of this term. So I know this was a super general intro, but if you need more information, you can email your teacher. If you're not sure who your teacher is and you haven't figured out how to look that up in Synergy, you can email the third name on the list, Ms. McNaughton. I'm the one doing the presentation here. We will be approaching a variety of texts. I know that we're all starting out with a unit that's going to explore some pieces of poetry around what's been happening in the world during the summer. And then we will be moving on to using language as power, which will explore some different memoirs, essays, and poetry around the globe. And we're going to look at some pieces from different people and different authors from around the globe. Thank you so much for listening. I know this is not our prepared way of interacting under this circumstance, but I appreciate you stopping by and watching the video and trying to get some information about what we're going to be doing in class. Please email me if you have any concerns or questions, and I will see if I can get them addressed for you, or email your individual teacher if you know who that's going to be. Thank you so much.